Are you a jogger or runner already and want to get better? Have you ever wanted to take up jogging or running, but were too nervous about the whole process? You've heard running is good for the health and for losing weight, but are you unsure how to begin? Is all the effort involved putting you off? Are you wary of any injuries you might receive? Finally, you get round to it, and the first experience is so awful. Do you end up like this after a short run? You collapse with exhaustion in no time and ache all over for days afterwards. And you don't want to go through all that suffering again. That was certainly my experience after my first run, and that of many other people too. My name is Jane Hodgson, and I was overweight and lazy. One day I could only just get into one of my size 18 dresses. I threw the thing on the floor and put on clothes of more flexible dimensions. Then I decided something had to change, and that something was me. Action was needed. I knew alcohol was high in calories, so I started there. 2 glasses of wine on a weekend, maximum, and none during the week. Next, there had to be exercise. I bought some trainers and a basic tracksuit. Being overweight, I didn't want any tight-fitting lycra. I planned out a route around a few local blocks, waited until after dark. Then off I went, full of beans, confidence and determination. But disaster hit hard. 100 yards later, I was ready to die. My lungs were burning and my legs giving way. Sitting on a low wall, it was some minutes before I made a sheepish walk home. Back indoors, I flopped on the sofa in frustration and carried on gasping for air. I reached for water and chocolate, dark chocolate. I don't actually like it, you understand. It's medicinal. Dark chocolate is rich in iron and I needed fortifying. The following day, I had so many aches I didn't think I was going to survive. A rethink was necessary. I knew many of the benefits of running and wanted some of them. Running can reduce physical and mental stress. It strengthens the heart and lungs and can lower blood pressure. It should mean I wouldn't be out of breath going up a few steps. Running can strengthen bones. Bones are live tissue and must bear a load to get stronger. Exercise peps up the metabolism, burns off more calories and reduces weight. Running is free and can be done anywhere and any time. 2 days later, I decided I needed to think about a new approach. The thing is, I'm a bit of a sticker, very tenacious in fact. Once I start something, I'm reluctant to quit unless the sky actually falls in on me. Also, I secretly believe I'm well organised. So I thought, this needs research and a proper plan. I set to it. I used to be good at netball, but I had let it slide. There was a drastic lack of exercise after that. I felt I needed to begin with walking and not running. It seemed doing lots of walking would be a good way to start. Almost the only walking I had been doing was a short walk to the train station every morning. This meant I had to develop a progressive walking programme to begin with. I made an effort to walk more on the way to work and more during the day. A regular walk in the evenings and a longer walk at weekends were added to that. A few weeks after my first pathetic running attempt, I felt ready to have another go. It was slightly better, or somewhat less bad, but no prizes. I was able to run a bit further now and without being laid low with exhaustion to the same extent. The trouble was, the next day my knees were hurting. Here was something else that needed looking into. Knee problems was one thing I certainly did not want. I have come across too many people who've given up sports because of knee trouble, and I didn't want to be one of them. An extra problem with injuries is that it can affect your confidence to carry on with any sort of exercise. Research and more research had to be done. So I looked into everything about running and training, what people were doing and what they were avoiding. I watched videos and interviews of runners and sports people. After that, I started finding errors in some of their methods. How can she be a top runner when her shoulders are so tense? She should be better than she is. When that sprinter leaves the blocks with all his power, why is he rocking from side to side, and why are his knees sticking out? Has his coach never studied him on video? Why do so many long-term runners have knee problems or end up needing hip replacement surgery? And so on. There were loads of experts who came up with conflicting advice, and some of it plainly ludicrous once you put it into practice. Even in the world of professional athletes, a lot of trainers seemed to have very little of practical use to say. It appeared anyone who could hold a stopwatch would call himself a coach. Listen to all the fitness gurus and you get a confusing mass of conflicting information and instructions. It looked as though most coaches and trainers were not the experts they thought. There must be true experts out there, but they can be hard to find. It became apparent to me that a lot of professionals did not have coaches who had a great deal of knowledge. How many people start running and give up, finding it too much effort without enough progress? Or they carry on and put up with the discomfort because they know it is supposed to be doing them good. I am not into suffering, so I wanted to be able to run and improve without nearly killing myself every time. I wanted no suffering. Most training methods talk about all the hard work you have to do. Feel the burn, they say. No pain, no gain, and so on. With all my research, I came across other benefits of running. More oxygen pumped into the brain should increase brain power, which sounded good. And then come all those endorphin, happiness hormones released from the brain. It is said to be the best laxative and much better than pills. It can help remove feelings of depression and anxiety. Sleep can be improved. Some were even claiming the improved fitness makes you better in bed in the love department. I wanted all this and to make it easier, less painful, and still get good results. Perhaps I was expecting too much? Don't get me wrong. We always need to make a certain effort. Otherwise, we might not even get up in the morning. There needs to be some discipline here, but we don't want suffering or pain or a big risk of injury. After masses of research and careful thought, a plan and system were developing. To keep going needs motivation, progress, and a better feeling, not exhaustion and pain. It's one thing for the professionals. They have a lifetime ambition to win national and world titles. Any amount of effort will be justified in their minds. Recreational runners will often have a different mindset. They don't usually subscribe to the as much pain as possible, then you get better approach. Amateur runners appeared to be very much on their own, simply having to jump into jogging and running without any sort of preparation. Would anyone start to drive a car or try skydiving without proper instruction and training? Of course not. I began collecting and organising all the information I could on a better method of running, trying out the different methods on myself and on other people. Many people say, of course running is easy. It's just like walking with one foot in front of the other and speeding up a bit. Very wrong. My first and extremely important discovery was the best way of putting one's feet on the ground. Then came a better breathing method. That all sounds strange, doesn't it? but it was working. Applying what I had found out meant my running began to progress. I was able to run further and faster and with less effort. It was not simply a case of getting fitter. The actual way I was running was different from most people's, and the method was paying dividends. Does it mean you have to be researching loads of websites and turning yourself into a nutrition expert just to go for a run? Certainly not. Not anymore. It's all been done for you in the Jog Run Win ebook. There is a correct technique in jogging and running. In any activity, it is crucial to have the correct technique. Jogging and running are no exception. There are most certainly correct techniques and correct practices to be applied when running. With them, the whole process becomes easier and there is much less risk of injury. Just enough of the essential information is given in the Jog Run Win manual to make your experiences easier and more successful. Now you can jog and run with a new ease and freedom. Your fitness and stamina should improve and progress without you feeling a complete wreck after each run. Run with the wrong technique and injuries can happen in the short term, with sprains and pulled muscles. Injuries appearing in the long term can result in knee surgery and hip replacements, and nobody wants any of that. Do you need a special diet? Not really. What's all this stuff about carbohydrates and proteins? What to drink and how much? All that is explained. Find out the best food and drink for maximum performance and recovery. These are techniques that anyone can learn and put into practice. You might be the most unfit person taking this sort of exercise for the first time. You might be a seasoned recreational runner, or you might be an experienced runner who wants to get even better. Whatever your situation, the techniques detailed in the ebook manual should help and lead to a more vibrant health. You will want to know what clothes you should have and what you actually need. What do you need to start? What gear is sensible and what is necessary? Then you will learn the right approach to exercise, warming up to avoid injury, the best tip in the universe for all runners, the most successful breathing method, how to avoid strain while running, what the aches are all about, improving your performance without strain, how to treat the body for long-term health. There are warnings about what to avoid, the best food for maximum performance. There is a secret training boost, all about motivation and setting goals, how to warm down and recover, perhaps move up to long-distance running, how to keep the fun in running, and all about success. Do you need to know the difference between speed, strength, and stamina running? It can sound daunting, but needn't be for fun runners. You will be learning how to run and improve without pain and strain. There is information which can be hard to find elsewhere. For those who want to be more competitive, here's the motto: train smarter, not harder. With this simple guide, you should be able to jog and run, enjoy it, and get fitter with a great freedom from injury. The Jog Run Win system means knowledge, performance, success. The advice and information in the PDF ebook manual are aimed at all ages. And there is an absence of the macho. You know, the sort of thing. You need to train to the limit and go through the pain in order to win. There's none of that nonsense. You will learn how to set goals which are realistic and appropriate just for you. You will understand the need for motivation and discipline, but without sacrifice, suffering, or strain. Very often, normal running requires a huge effort without the results you would like. Not now. Just follow the system step by step and the results you want should come. How much is all this information and knowledge worth to you? You won't need to buy any other training system. No need to spend days searching on the internet in a futile attempt to find better advice. So much of your valuable time will be saved. You won't have to pay a fortune for a personal trainer and fitness coach. The manual will do it all for you for just $27 as a one-off payment. Your purchase comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you are not excited with the product, you can have a full refund. If you are not thrilled with the results you get, you can have a full refund. Even if you don't like the way I spell program, you can have a full refund. Payment can be made by credit card, debit card, or PayPal. All payment processing is handled by ClickBank and is 100% secure. ClickBank has been around for decades and is one of the largest marketing companies of e-products on the net. Just click on the Buy Now button and make the purchase. Think what could happen if you don't follow this route. You will continue down the road you are on now, using more effort than you need and running a greater risk of injury. Injuries can be short-term strains or worse, with injuries which can take years to develop, then require major surgery on knees, hips and ankles. Follow all the guidelines in the manual and you could miss all these disasters. At the same time, you will give yourself the greatest opportunity of fulfilling your potential as a recreational runner, or a runner who is more competitive, or even as a professional athlete. Boost your performance. Less strain on the body. Less impact on the body. With a reduced risk of injury both in the short term and the long term. Take the first steps in a more successful running experience. Buy now and everything can change. No shipping fees, no delays, and start immediately. And remember, your payment is 100% safe and has a 60-day money-back guarantee. Jog Run Win means better running for all, with less effort, more speed, and lower risk of injury. Jog Run Win is all about making running easier and safer. Do you want to run with less effort, with a lower risk of injury and have more success? Now's your chance. Buy now and get started.